So you've been thinking about getting into drones for a while now, and you figure it's finally time to pull the trigger. DJI is supposed to be good, right? So you go to their site and you find a cool looking drone, the Avata, with everything you need to get in the air, and you buy it. The price tag is massive, but it'll be worth it. So you wait a few days and you get a package in the mail. You open the package, having anticipated this moment for some time, and there it is. A brand new, impressive, space-age looking drone. You plug in the battery and you run outside, excited to fly your very first drone. As you take off for the first time, you feel it. The rush of an out-of-body experience like nothing you felt before. To document this experience, you even make a video and post it to YouTube to share with the world your first steps into the world of FPV. Surely others will feel that same excitement. Surely the FPV community in particular will take you in with open arms, excited for new blood to join their ranks, right? Wrong. You hear the notification sound on your phone, and that's when you see it. It's like all the people that watched your video woke up and chose anger. All of a sudden, you're part of the problem, the reason why people don't like drones, and why the FAA makes these stupid laws. All you ever wanted to do is share your excitement with others, and now you're the bad guy in a world that seems to be struggling, yet is full of people trying to keep newbies away. So what went wrong? If you've ever bought a DJI product and got relentless hate for it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and drop a like down below. The world of RC has always attracted certain types of people, specifically know-it-alls. And because there are so many know-it-alls, it's always been pretty easy to get under their skin. But with FPV becoming the main draw these days for newcomers, there's a few new ways that have emerged to piss them off even more. And that's why today I want to talk about the best ways that you can get canceled by the FPV community. And if you don't believe me, watch this video all the way through and then try one of the things on this list and see how long it takes for you to get canceled. Let's jump into it. They're not in any particular order here, but we're gonna start with the first one, promoting products you don't care about to make money. If you wanna lose the trust of everybody you fly with in an instant, this is what you do. There are many FPV products out there these days, and to be honest, a lot of them just plain suck. Because the community is so small, there seems to be this rush or mad dash to scoop up all the sponsorships or endorsements you can and all the free products, even if you don't give a shit about them and don't actually use them. It creates misinformation and like hype around some of these products that maybe you don't actually care about, or maybe you don't even use them, but because you're getting paid to review them or paid to show them on your channel or what have you, they just keep getting circulated around, and maybe they're kind of a shitty product, or maybe it's kind of a shitty company that's putting out the product. Many people in this community fully realize this is going on, and they hate it. So unless you want to get canceled and not be trusted to ever review a product again, try to rise above the marketing hype and try to keep an objective eye on things. Don't get jaded by something just because you're getting it for free or you're getting a kickback for it. Number 2. Ready to fly and bind and fly quads. This is what a lot of newcomers or maybe people that are getting their second drone are doing. They buy something ready to fly or bind and fly with their existing transmitter just because it's easier, and maybe they don't have that skill set yet to go and build it from scratch. But there's this stigma out there that if you buy something ready to fly or bind and fly, you're a dirtbag. People in FPV and RC as a whole really frown on anything pre-built. It's the way it has always been, at least in my experience. Now this could be anything from the little tiny whoop you got at Race Day Quads to a foam airplane you got at Horizon Hobby. They just hate anything pre-built, and you will be judged for it. Now I will say this is a little bit more common in the RC airplane community, where it's still filled with people that are building from like balsa wood kits from scratch, like all this other insane stuff. Buying these products definitely puts you in a category, at least in some people's eyes, of you're not really into it or you're not a real pilot. And this is a big problem in this hobby because it turns newcomers away. When newbies meet up to fly with people that have been doing it for some time, the first thing they see is fancy, custom-built drones and high-tech electronics. And when they see these things, they can feel judged and inferior, and that's just not what we want to go for at all. Oftentimes, this leads them to get out of the hobby completely because they feel like they're just not part of the club, whatever that means. It's time for number 3. This is going to be a fun one. Praising DJI. The DJI hate is rooted in the rift between Mavic pilots and real pilots. And it really started to pick up when the DJI FPV was first released, and then even more when the Avata was released. Many in the community viewed these two products more as toys used by mainly posers who are trying to fit into some elite club of FPV pilots. But as someone who has flown drones, airplanes, helicopters, pretty much anything else that flies RC my entire life, including the FPV and the Avata, I can confidently tell you, you are a real FPV pilot. It doesn't matter what somebody else tells you or the bucket that they try to put you into as far as what pilot you are. It doesn't matter. Don't listen to what the haters say. Fly what you want. Now, to be fair and acknowledge both sides here, a case can be made that DJI is not the greatest for the hobby because it allows even the smoothest of brains to fly high-powered drones pretty much anywhere. But that's also kind of what makes them great. You no longer need a master's degree in engineering and 10 years of RC experience just to get something in the air. You can simply go to DJI's website, drop your whole paycheck, and you have a drone in the mail a few days later. Love them or hate them, DJI has made drones much more accessible to the average Joe, and I think that's a good thing. And it's also worth noting they make some of the best products and tech out there, and it's not particularly close. For some reason, people in this world like to pretend that things like HD0, Walk Snail, and even Analog can compete in the same world as like a DJI O3, for example, in terms of video quality and performance. And that's just not the case. At least not right now. But the great thing is, the tech is always improving, it's always innovating, and it just gets better every single year. So who knows? Maybe in a few years, DJI won't be king anymore, and maybe the hate will fade away. But for right now, in 2023, if you want to catch some serious flack from members of the community, make videos praising DJI. Also make videos claiming that you are a real pilot when all you fly is the Avata. People hate that, and it's really funny. The next one is kind of a common theme in a lot of different things these days, and I don't know if it's gotten worse recently. It kind of seems like it has to me, but what I'm talking about is doing things differently than others or using unpopular gear. All you have to do is go on any Reddit forum anywhere and you can find these types of people. They'll point out everything you're doing wrong and what they do better than you and how they would have done it better than you. And this hobby is filled with these people. It's like an entire community of just Reddit users, and it's so annoying sometimes. These are the types of people that think there's only one way of doing something, and if you don't do it that one special way, you're dumb, you're uneducated, as they love to say, and you will 100% be called out for it. These are the types of people that say things like, "You sure that's gonna work?" Or, "You do realize," while they stand right behind you, waiting for the very first chance that you mess up, they can jump in and call you out for it. Now, this hobby is amazing because it allows you to try things on your own, experiment on your own, and find what you like and what works for you. There isn't one special way to do anything. Yes, there's certain best practice things that improve safety and reliability that are pretty important, but to be honest, there's a lot more things that simply don't matter. So next time you're in the mood for a fight, show up to your local FPV meet with no OSD, only one battery strap, and shitty off-brand analog video gear. Then start a stopwatch and see how long it takes for somebody to call you out for it. This next one here, number 5, I didn't quite understand what all the hate was about at first, but then I dug into it a little bit deeper through researching for this video, and I kind of discovered where the hate's coming from. And this thing is using FrSky products. FrSky, like DJI, is a polarizing brand in the community, but not for all the same reasons. In short, their hardware is decent enough and affordable, but their business practices are not the greatest and their radio protocols are one step above flaming dog shit. And that's how they get the prices so low. In their early days, they were known mainly for making Futaba-compatible receivers at a cheaper, more affordable price point. Because those of you that remember, Futaba products were and continue to be very expensive. They're really good, but they're really expensive. So there's definitely a lane there for them to just excel in that one thing, but they kind of got out of whack. And around this time as well, they were partnered with TBS, making the Crossfire and the FrSky products compatible. The release of the QX7 kind of marked a shift from FrSky working with the community to them being a good old-fashioned shitty morals company that we all know and love. This is when they really started down their path of anti-competition by forcing TBS out. Nobody really knew why at the time, but it was later discovered that FrSky was developing their own long-range system. We now know it as the R9M. I actually used it for a while. They did what so many growing companies seem to be doing these days, developing their own little ecosystem of products and locking you out from using anything else, making stuff that is not compatible with anything except its own brand. Now, this works great for companies like Apple, but the difference is Apple's products actually work and they're reliable. Yes, they're expensive, but you do actually get something for that money, unlike FreeSky. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I do still use a Tyrannus X9D with an Express LRS module. I used to use the R9M system, and before that even, the very first system I used with drones was the FreeSky Access Protocol. And I had nothing but trouble with that. I had fail-safes and all sorts of other issues. That's what made me upgrade to the R9. And then that was kind of shitty too. And since switching to Express LRS, I haven't had a single issue. Now, to give credit where credit is due, because I do like to play both sides because I'm kind of an asshole like that, FreeSky did do a few things that were good for the hobby. Back in the day, the only available radios that people really knew about at all were Spectrum or Futaba, and they were both extremely expensive and just kind of out of reach of the normal person. FreeSky offered an alternative product that was good enough in terms of hardware quality, and a radio protocol that, yeah, it would get you in the air. It wouldn't be reliable or really that fun because it's so unreliable, but it would do the job. So I give credit to them for doing that because I think that is really important, but man, have they come a long ways since those days. They fell victim to the dollar like so many companies do, and it's just sad to see. That's why so many people hate them in this community, and that's why it's an excellent way to get canceled quickly. Now it's time for the last one, and this is the best one, believe me. It never used to really be an issue until maybe around 2016, 17, somewhere in there, and as you've probably figured it out by now, praising the FAA in any way. Like I said, this never really used to be a problem until drones started coming around and becoming more prevalent, and of course remote ID started being talked about. And ever since then, my God, has it become a hot button issue. If you want to make thousands of enemies in a matter of seconds, praise the FAA in any way. And I do mean any way. You could do something as simple as compliment the shirt an FAA agent is wearing, and you will be eaten alive in the comments. You'll be chewed up, spit out, and shit on by all the members of the community. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at all the recent remote ID videos and scroll on down to the comment section, and you will see all the toxicity, the conspiracy theories, and the just good old-fashioned anger that exists down there. It's unbelievable. Now, increasing regulation is really a much, much larger topic than just FPV, because we do live in the golden age of misinformation and just general toxicity online. But I guess the silver lining here is the community is very passionate, and they will be quick to jump on anyone that says anything positive about the FAA. So I guess that's good, even if it does mean getting canceled. There's not many people in this community that think the FAA is good and remote ID is good, but to play devil's advocate again, because I love doing that, I don't think it's fair to put blanket hate on an entire section of the government or group of people or whoever, it doesn't even matter, just for one little rule that you don't like, that they were literally told to do by Congress. They didn't have a choice. So if you want to blame anyone, blame Congress. They are the ones that screw everything up, from this to wars to everything, you name it. You guys know, I don't need to tell you that. So if you want to make thousands and thousands of enemies in a matter of minutes, leave a comment on some random FPV video praising the FAA and just watch the hate roll in. If nothing else, it'll be entertaining. Well, that's going to do it for this one. For those of you that like to start shit, I hope this gave you some material to go out there in the world and really piss off the community, get under their skin, and ultimately, hopefully for you, get canceled, because that's the goal of this video today. But in all reality, this was just for fun. I hope you guys know that, so don't get too offended if you are one of the people I'm talking about here. Whether you like DJI products, iFlight products, or FreeSky, or anything in between, we are all a part of this community, and I think that's important for us to remember. It is all of our responsibility to be good ambassadors for this hobby, and not just throw toxic bullshit around just because we don't like a product or we don't like some company. Because despite the FAA's best efforts, we are still here and we're not going to stop doing what we love. So if you now feel like you're equipped to start World War FPV, go ahead and drop a like down below. Feel free to leave me a comment, and please subscribe if you haven't. And until the next one, keep ripping, keep wrecking, and keep learning.